What's up, y'all? It's Sarah Kate here with Billy Scott with Billy Scott Real Estate. We're back for another podcast episode. The last couple episodes, we did a national market update, and now we're going to talk more locally, what's actually affecting buyers and sellers in our area. And like all the numbers that, I don't know, sometimes like they just don't make sense. Like you look at them and you're like, how do I interpret this for my house or my area or whatever? So Billy's going to give us the download on it.
Sweet. The DL, the down low. Let's see what we can do.
Give us the deets.
Yeah, the deets.
Explain to us what's going on.
Well, earlier you mentioned something that just kind of rang something in my brain was Zillow. How many people go to Zillow and wonder what their home is worth?
Yeah.
And they wonder, there's no way it's worth that, or wow, it's worth that, or yeah, it's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
There's three ranges, right? It's either too high, too low, or yeah, it's right in that range. Zillow can be pretty accurate on a typical cookie cutter house.
Yeah.
It's just a house or a house and a garage that's attached, 3-bed, 2-bath, in town, subdivision, lots of sold comps within the local few blocks. Pretty stringent, consistent, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, 2-car garage. Here it is, 0.15 acre lot. Like same year, same make, same model. Like they've got a lot of comps for that. Where Zillow is sometimes questionable is when you start adding maybe you're a half-acre property or more, or your rural property or on the outskirts of town. Then you start looking at different numbers where it's just not lining up as much. So something to think about. It's a great reference point, whether it's Zillow or Homes.com or Realtor.com, whatever it may be. It's a guideline, but reach out to a local agent that would know that market and be able to say, hey, where does my home line up? If it says it's worth $350 here, what makes it different than that? Let's break it down and sit down with an agent. I'm not just saying for me, I'm saying an agent in general.
Yeah.
They enjoy doing it. Pluck their brain about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking on Zillow what mine is because I haven't looked in a while. And like it gives you like a range from like 318 to 352. And I'm like, no.
Yep.
It's like, no. And actually, this estimate it gives me is like, it's too low.
Yeah.
What it would actually sell for.
But it's one of those, there's a, is it within 10%?
Yeah.
Is it within 5%? The
It's
more
pretty
cookie
close.
cutter, it's more within that 3 to 5%,
Yeah.
like without a doubt.
It's pretty close. Is it off on yours because you're out in the country?
Yeah. I have 10 acres and it's a different style living and it's probably off over 40%.
Oh my God.
So it's like, and because I have 2 parcels, but it's one address, it only registers one. So that's some things that Zillow doesn't really catch.
Yeah.
So there's different caveats with it. So you really want to trust but verify and talk to somebody in the local market. So.
Yeah. Because does it pull comps just from stuff that's sold? And
Yeah.
I haven't really looked too much into like the algorithm and how it works.
Yep. So it pulls like recent solds, recent pendings.
Yeah.
But pendings are only whatever the last asking price was. Doesn't mean that's what that home was sold for.
Yeah.
So let's say it was on sale for $500,000, but it was on the market 4 months, and all of a sudden the sellers really need to get it sold, and maybe after negotiations they sold it at $460.
Yeah.
Well, it's pending or active under contract at $500, but really behind the scenes it's contracted at $460, and that's before. Are you factoring in seller concessions? Are you factoring in buyer repair addendum or different items that need to be replaced, which may reduce the price or be added concessions? It's all a negotiation throughout the process. So just because it's pending at $500, then you see a month later, 45 days later, sold $450. It's like, what?
What?
Like, it's, but
which makes sense.
Would you see that with a home that was on the market less than 15 days? No, because it's fresh to the market.
Right.
They're going to get, that urgency, that buzz. Something that's been on the market 3 or 4 months, the listing's gone stale.
Yeah.
They're chasing a buyer.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different strategy behind it.
Makes sense. Well, we've got some slides that we're going to have for everybody to see too. This is from Willamette Valley Multiple Listing Service, which is our more local centralized MLS for the Mid-Willamette Valley.
Okay.
Just some stats based on the prior year of where we're at today versus last year. We're just doing Benton and Lynn County.
Okay.
And under half an acre and above half an acre. So we'll, if you can walk through like explaining each stat and what that means and what the percentage difference is saying,
Okay.
I think that would really help people understand like where are we sitting for average sales price and days on market and all of that compared to last year.
Okay. Cool. So no, this is a good stat to look at. This is an overall, and as you see at the top on the main search filters for what we're searching, when we talk Benton County or Lynn County, we're talking Lynn and Benton County of Oregon. So over on the West Coast, this is in the Willamette Valley area, home of Oregon State Beavs, not the Ducks. Just want to throw that in there.
We'll do Lane County another time.
Everybody across the nation that sees this, they've never heard of the Beavers, do your homework. So, all right. So residents, 0.5 acres or more. So we've got two stats. We can go above a half an acre or below a half an acre. So this is showing Benton County, and this chart is representing compared to the prior year at this time. Okay. So I believe this is through the end of February. So 2 months into the year, where are we at this time in the current market? So top left corner, we're looking at medium sales price. So $582,000. It's down 12.2%. So that means it's down over $60,000 from the previous year's median sales price. That means that was over $640,000. That's, it's a wintertime drop. It's always lower during the winter, but guess what? It's comparable to the same time last year. It's a similar comp just a year ago. So how many market shifts have we had over the last few years since that 21, 22 boom? The market has constantly been shifting. So this is a sign of it. There's still a lot of positives. We're still in one of the third top best real estate markets, but it had to adjust. It had to correct. That's why the rates went up. Homes started slowing down. Days on market started getting extended. It's shifted from a seller's market into more of a balanced market and might be headed towards a little bit of a buyer's market depending on what price range. And when I say price range, I mean, all right, is a first-time home buyer, their first-time house is no longer $150,000 to $200,000. It's $300,000 to $400,000. Why is that? Because most homes on the market right now under $300,000 in the Willamette Valley, most likely they're not financeable. Like they may need roof repairs or dry rot, or they're not financeable because of safety and environmental issues. So what that means is it could be under $300,000. That's great. But a first-time home buyer with a loan, they're going to get denied because it's not going to pass inspection for appraisal. So it raises that first-time home buyer price to $300,000 to $400,000 for this market. That makes it really hard for a new buyer, whether they've never owned a home before and they're trying to make it work. It makes it tough. It's not the $100,000, $150,000 home 30 years ago that, we bought our first home for this and we were at 12% interest. Well, 12% interest on $100,000 is a little different than 6.5% interest on $350,000. So let's just run those numbers, and then you go, the value of the dollar has shifted. Yes, we make more money. Yes, things cost more, but inflation has gotten pretty steep over the last couple of years. Nobody would disagree. So let's talk top right, closed sales. 10%. There was 10 closed sales the first 2 months last year in 2024, just like this year. So we're right stagnant. Active inventory. So what this means is there's more homes coming to the market. It's up almost 12%, and there's 38 homes in Benton County above a half an acre right now. So 38 homes. So if you're looking at almost 12%, that's 3 to 4 more homes than there was last year to reflect what the number means. Median days on the market. So that's the time to get the home active on the market. It enters the market on day 0. day it goes live, and every day it just starts counting. How long has this home been on the market? So that's something that we present to sellers is when we think about it, we go, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you were looking for your home, when you bought this home 10 years ago, what did you look for on the MLS? And they'd go, well, I'd look for the price and see how many price drops they've had. And what else? Well, I like looking at days on the market. Why? What does that mean? Well, if it's been on the market more than 30 days, it's probably overpriced or something's really wrong with it. Mm. That's a mental assumption that we've all came up with it. If it's been on the market too long, we think, oh my God, something's wrong with it or it's overpriced. So then when we're talking to sellers about how do we price your property appropriately? Mm-hmm. And we go, well, let's just say you want $600,000. The market comps are $550,000. Let's just use those numbers. We got a $50,000 difference. Seller wants $50,000 more than what the market states it's worth. And they go, well, let's try this. Nobody's tried this before. Let's go $625,000. Creative. Mm-hmm. Nobody's thought of it. Let's just see, that way it looks like we dropped our price, and then we'll take $600,000 and we'll get what we want.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. But when those buyers are sitting at home and they've got all this information at their fingertips on their phone, sitting on the couch, and they see your home go live, and you see $625,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, in town, 20 years old, pretty standard house, and the market is $550,000, they go, $625,000, swipe, they're crazy. Next. You just missed that buyer pool. And then if you wait to adjust and you want to wait 30 days or 45 days and say, let's just give the market more time to see if somebody's going to come, see if somebody's going to see it. Here's the problem. People that are looking at it at 30 days, they're like, $625,000, 30 days on the market, overpriced. Something's wrong. Mm-hmm. We all say it. We're all guilty of it. I am. Mm-hmm. I'm in the industry. I'm guilty of it. 99% of the time, it's an overpriced home. And what I used to think was, that agent is crazy. Why does that agent think that home is worth so much? What is so unique about it? What is there that I can't see? Is it the agent? Or just possibly does a seller wish they would have sold in 21 and 22 when the market was at its peak and interest rates were 2 to 3%, and you got more of a bid war and above asking? Here's the reality. They weren't ready to sell at that time. Mm-hmm. They weren't ready. It didn't line up. Now that they're ready to sell, the market shifted. The market is still great. The market is still strong, but it was so darn strong, it was troublesome. Mm-hmm. And there was so much movement on the market, it was unreal. Mm-hmm. A market that nobody had seen before. So that $550,000 house, when you start at that $625,000 and think, we're really just outwitting those people, and you crawl down that price at $600 or $599 after a price adjustment, then you still got barely people wanting to schedule a showing. If you're not getting showings, you're not getting offers, you know within 10 to 14 days. Adjust the price, you're not getting the showings, you're not getting the offers. Adjust your price, you're too high. Mm-hmm. It's getting the exposure. If you know you're getting the marketing, you're getting the videos, you're getting out on social media, your ads are getting boosted, you're on multiple MLSs, it's on Zillow, Homes.com, it's getting the exposure. But when people see it, they can think in 3 seconds, looks overpriced to me, swipe away.
Yeah.
You are missing those buyers. So we understand we don't want to just put the house on the market at a low price. Be like, let's see how fast we can sell it. Because if we sell it too darn fast, then we didn't do our job. We need to create that sense of urgency and price the home according to market value so that we can get that buzz the first 5 to 7 days, get a busy open house throughout the weekend, and get that energy behind the house of going, oh my gosh, there was 2 other couples that are looking at the house, and we need to move on this quick. Guess what that does? If you price that home at $550,000, $565,000, Maybe you create a couple different offers. Maybe you create that urgency and say, hey, I want an escalation clause. I'll pay $5,000 above the highest offer up to this price. Whatever it may be, you've got different ways to get creative. Talk to your agent about it. But if you see a house that's priced appropriately, why does that house get so much exposure the first 7 days? And then a house that's just being asked too much money, why does that house chase the market for the next 30, 45, 60 days? And then they wish they would have got closer to that 550, 560. Why? Because buyers have all their information at their fingertips and have a pretty good idea based on average home value in town. There's too much information out there for everybody to see.
Yeah.
So, median days on market. If you're hitting 116 days, a balanced market is at 5 or 6 months. So 150 to 180 days means balanced market. And turning into a buyer's market. So we're creeping up on that number, and you'll see, pay attention, whether it's above a half an acre, below a half an acre, what county, you'll see the median days on market shift. So don't just look at one area, look, different surrounding counties and towns. So that's up almost 8%. New listings on the market. 14, it's up 27%. So 3 or 4 new listings this time last year opposed to 10 or 11. So new listings being available, remember what happened with the boom was there wasn't enough homes on the market. So there was way too many buyers and not enough homes. So as you have more homes on the market, your average days on markets climb. You got more competition, more selection to choose from. So a buyer then has more buying power to choose what home with what unique feature do I want to buy. I've got 5 homes that fit my search parameters. And 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it'd be 1 or 2, and you better strike in the first 24 to 48 hours. So the market has shifted, but I don't want to sit here and say the market's bad. We're still in a darn strong market, but it's not what it was. Median sold price per square foot. I've never been a fan of this. Your sold price per square foot is like I talked about earlier on Zillow. If you've got like a cookie cutter house in town and you've got a subdivision, a lot of similar houses built the same builder, same size lot, same square footage, 3 bed, 2 bath, 2 car garage, here it is. That price per square foot with no other acreage, no other outbuildings, things like that, that's pretty in line with your average price per square foot. Now, let's take $1 million property and it has 2 barns and the home is worth, let's say, $400,000, but the property sold for $1 million. Well, the property price per square foot is based on sales price minus square footage of the home. So that number is going to be way high and inflated. And it's like, hold up. That home's not even that big. It's a 1,500 square foot home. Oh man, it's $500 a square foot. No, it's not. Because that's all that square footage price represents. It doesn't take into effect you got a barn over here and an outbuilding over here or whatever it may be. You may have $200,000 in structures, which is 20% of $1 million price, which means your price per square foot is going to be off over 20%. So use that price per square foot as a guideline to homes in town. Out of town, it's irrelevant.
Okay. So in Benton County, under half an acre. Oh, it's a lot more red.
Yeah. So the last one was Benton County, but above a half an acre. Now it's under half an acre. So you see those red arrows shifting down. So when people ask, how's the real estate market? Well, I kind of break it into thirds. Are you talking about the $300,000 to $400,000 market? Are you talking about that $500,000 to $800,000 market, like the middle range market? Or are you talking the $1 million market? That's 3 different markets. And you could do those numbers in the same county, just shifting sales price and not doing above a half acre, under a half acre. And you're going to see 3 different stats. So I look at it as 3 ranges within the market. So let's talk about it. Under half an acre in Benton County, Oregon, $477,000 median sales price. Above a half an acre was $85,000 more than that. So almost 20% higher. So now look at closed sales. 34 closed sales. That's down 20%. So there was another 6 or 7 closed sales last year. So 41 last year and 34 this year when you think February to February for year to year. Active inventory, that is down 19%. Weren't we just talking about there's more homes available on the market?
Yeah.
Well, this tells us otherwise.
Yeah.
So above a half an acre, we have more homes on the market. Below half an acre, you have less homes on the market. So we would drop 19, almost 20%. So that's about 15 homes. So that means last year was about 90. Median days on market. That number dropped from 116 to 60, almost 50% from above a half an acre to below a half an acre. So it's ironic to just see a little shift in some of your filter and your search parameters, how much of a fluctuation that means for what you're looking at in the market. 60 days, that means within 15 to 20 days, 2 to 3 weeks, you've got the home under contract. And within 30 to 40 days, you're closed at the closing table. Mm-hmm. That's a great, strong market. Mm-hmm. So it says the median days is down 1.6%. So you're only talking, a small amount of days that it's actually less days on the market. Median sold price, so $283 per square foot. That's going to be more in line because it's under half an acre, more of a balanced price per square foot. You could look at some homes at $225 and some homes at $300. It all depends on the features and all that and how many square feet. The bigger the square foot, the price starts dropping once it peaks out that, $1,500, $1,800. And then as you start getting above 1,800 square foot, your price per square foot kind of starts dropping off a little bit. So something to think about. And the new listings is down 35%. There's 39 on the market. That means there was almost another 20 last year at this time. So less listings, less inventory. This part of the market, there's a lot of positives. So let's jump to the next one.
What does that tell you overall when you see that the days on market, your new listing, your inventory, what does that tell you as an agent in this area?
When we talk about people saying, well, when interest rates went up like this last time, it was, that 08 era and the market crashed and all that. Well, guess what? What didn't happen was there was so much inventory on the market available. There was so much to choose from. We don't have that. Mm-hmm. With these numbers, you can see we don't have the inventory available for that. Mm-hmm. 60 days on the market, it's not what it was in 22.
Right.
But it's not bad either. Yeah. That's still a seller's market in a sense of stuff still moving if you price it properly.
Okay. That makes sense. Let's see. Now we've got Lynn County, over half an acre.
Okay. So
interesting.
Lynn County is mostly east of the Willamette River. So heading towards that Albany, Lebanon, Sweet Home, Brownsville area. So median sales price above half an acre, $376,000. It's up almost 19% from last year. 8 closed sales. That's down 52%. Don't let 52% jump at you so much that it's whoa, it dropped 50%. Well, it dropped from 12? Or 16 to 8, 16 closed sales to 8. Not that big of a deal. It's all based on timing. So use that reference loosely. Active inventory, it's down 14%. That's 12 or 13 homes that were on the market last year that would have put it at 97, 98. Now it's at 85. So less inventory. Median days on the market, 133. So now this number jumped. In Benton County, it was 116. So we're jumping up there a little bit on median days on the market. 23, 24% higher. So not terrible, but you're exceeding that 4 to 4.5 month mark, creeping up on that 5 to 6 for a balanced market for this range. Median sold price per square foot. See how the numbers of price per square foot is 347. Mm-hmm. That's high. That's a high average. It's not going to sustain that number because it'll balance as more sales happen throughout the year. And there could be, out of those 8 closed sales, there could be 2 or 3 higher price ones, maybe in the $1 million market, that'll influx that number. So as you get deeper into the year and you look, summertime comparisons, that number is going to drop. But it does show it's up 22%, which is $60 a square foot higher. So usually it's under 300. New listings, 25, just down 7% from last year. So couple right there.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when you look at these and like you're saying, if you just look at the percentages and you're like, oh my gosh, 50%.
Yeah.
But then like you actually recognize what that number represents and you're like, oh, okay, wait, that's not that much.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah, you could just, get real granular there, one number and be like, look what's happening in the market. It's 52% down. It's like.
But what that equates to is like nothing.
Yeah, and
for that stat.
And you got different market swings. Let's say January, February last year was really strong with stuff that rolled over and didn't quite finish in December and rolled into the new year. It could make that number. So when you're going up against it the next year based on average, look at the big difference. It's like, take it for a grain of salt. It's got peaks and valleys throughout the seasonality of the market. So. Yeah. So now this is Lynn County, under half an acre, $384,000 sales price. So that's more manageable.
That's significant. Look at that. 576, 385, 384. Yeah.
And it's up 4%.
Yeah.
So when you think of median sales price being up 4%, that's constant appreciation on our home values. Like, we hope to stay above 2% on the annual trend. We've been doing all right. So when they say, oh, gosh, the market's crashing, no, like it's adjusting.
Yeah.
61 closed sales, down 1.6%. That's nothing. So 61 closed sales, when you think of comparison year after year or year prior, that's a lot of sales. So when you think of above a half an acre, there was 8 of them. Under half an acre, there was 61 of them. Do the math on that. Less than 15% of the sales are above a half an acre. And if 15% of the sales are above a half an acre, how many people in here want small acreage out of town just to more than half an acre? Most people.
I do.
Everybody wants that, but they realize the affordability and the likelihood of getting it, it's so far and few between to find that property. I've got multiple clients looking for small acreage 5 minutes from town. Everybody wants that same diamond. So it's like vultures when they come out, if they're priced right. Yeah. 198 active homes on the market. It's up 3%. Not a big fluctuation, but on the rise. So we have more availability. 68 days on the market for median. It's cruising. Same thing as it was last year. 102 listings. That's up almost 10%. So about 10 more listings. And then median sold price per square foot, $258. That $250 range has been pretty strong in this last couple of years within that 5%. So that's more in line. The last one showed like 347 above a half an acre. But like I said, some high sales can throw that number up higher, but throughout the year, the average will adjust and correct.
Okay.
All right. So what does all this mean? When we're talking just, a few episodes ago, we talked about the national market. We talked about things happening around the world and on a national level. And then we talked about let's get more localized into our market here locally. You've got a statewide market. You've got your local market. You've got plenty of different markets and shifting that's constantly happening based on price range, based on demand, based on what's happening in the world in general. So now that we've went over these numbers, you think, well, how do I keep up to date on this? I'm not an agent. I'm a homeowner, or maybe I'm a first-time home buyer, or maybe I'm just curious. What do I do with this information? Great question. So if you want to get a free market analysis, whether it's seeing what your current home value is worth, we can do that. We can set it up with you. We can send you some information electronically, and then show up on site, look at your property, and give you a value assessment of what is your home worth in today's market, and what could you do to prepare the home to be sold a year or two down the road? If you were thinking about selling, but you're not ready, but you want to stay ahead of that curve, we can do that. Like, this is a service that we provide. So get a hold of us, whether it's shoot us a call, a text, an email. Let us know, hey, I'd like to get one of those CMAs. It's a comparative market analysis on my property to just see what it's worth. Or maybe you have a family member or some parents where you're like, we're kind of wondering if they need to move in with us, but we don't know what their home's worth and they don't want to do anything until they figure that out. And we can help with that. Like, we go do it. We give the evaluations. We comp the properties. We say, hey, this is what we think we can get based on this, but you could raise your value if you do these couple things. Or if it's not worth it, that's okay. But we want to be able to report and you decide.
Yeah.
Secondly, what if you're just kind of wanting to watch the market? We've got systems for that. So on our Brivity CRM platform that we use to track our database and all the work that we do.
And a CRM, for those of you who don't know, because I didn't know before I got into real estate, is a customer relationship management system, which sounds so robotic, but it's really for us to store and track information, right? But I'm learning, I'm just going to be transparent. Like, I'm learning about this awesome tool that it has, which is like the market reports. I was literally just setting myself one up today. And it's cool because you can really filter like your area. You can set like the radius around like your home and everything. And it shows you more accurately than if you were to search it online or try to find it on Zillow. But it does. It shows you all the active pendings and sold around the area. And you can filter them based on like your home. And I don't know, it was cool for me to see that because like I drive through my neighborhood. I know like what's selling or what's under contract or, whatever, what's listed. But it's cool to get a report that kind of tells you. And it even like gives you, is your area kind of leaning more toward a seller or buyer's market right now? So yeah, I'd like love to set people up on that just to play around with it, see what you guys think, like how accurate you feel like it is too. Mine was really accurate. So yeah, like put it in the comments or message me or something because I would love to like have more people. I mean, we have people we're setting them up for obviously, but it'd be fun. Even like no strings attached, no pressure. Billy's not going to come banging on your door. Calm down. It's okay. You're safe. No, don't scare people. Oh my gosh. I won't let him, I promise. Anyway, but it's a great tool, like you were saying. And I think it's really educational, and we can set them up monthly, or then if people don't want to get them and they get it and they don't want anymore, we can remove you. No big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And the great thing about it is when, like Sarah's saying, maybe you want to know, maybe you live in Philomath, Oregon right now, but you want to watch the Lebanon market or the Salem market, and you want to watch that. You can set up those filters and go, I've kind of been wanting a 3-bed, 2-bath, maybe move out of town. My job's going to change, or we've kind of been wanting to move a little bit north. I kind of want to watch that market because we know next year we're going to be buying there. It don't have to be your current market that you live in. We can set it up anywhere in the state of Oregon. So we can have some fun with it. Like, we've got some options. Yeah. So utilize us. This is a service that we pay for, and it's a value that we provide you. So we pay for it. You get the benefit of it. Use it.
Yeah. It helps us too, just like learning our system and everything. And I don't know. I feel like even if I wasn't working with you and I heard about this, I would want it. I've set stuff up for myself even before I was in real estate, like on Zillow and stuff. But like, I feel like they would always send me like properties and stuff that I'm like, this isn't even relevant. Like, I didn't even, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So this one that I was setting up for myself, I was like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, this is a lot more accurate. So highly recommend. But yeah, anyway, we are happy to, set you guys up on anything. Obviously, if you guys want to chat with Billy, he is always happy to chat, if you can't tell. He loves it. He lives for it.
Yes, I do.
I'm like the extrovert who's like, I love people, and then I go home and I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, give me a book under my covers, like I'm recharging alone. Billy's like, just wants to be around people all the time. Do you just like go to sleep talking?
I fall asleep talking. Huh, babe? Yeah. She'll be like, cool story.
Your wife's
Good
like,
night.
shut up. So anyway, we love this and we're passionate about it. So reach out to us, send me a message, put it in the comments, whatever, and we're happy to help you. So next episode, I'm gonna ask Billy some questions here, kind of a little bit of a part 2, kind of more related to just our market and just common questions that buyers and sellers have, kind of based off of these stats that we have, kind of more generic. But yeah, so tune in for that because I'm sure I'm going to ask questions that you have.
Thanks for watching. Take care.